welcome back. You guys like these sort of videos, so I guess I'll keep doing them. I'm at my aunt's property, and I figured I'd go over, as you've probably read in the description, her spring system. And bonus, there's another spring across the street for another house that's abandoned, and I'll go show you guys that too. So her house there, I've done a few videos here, like one or two in the pasture, and then also down over there, beaver dam removal with the excavator. And that might be an ongoing series if you can imagine beavers rebuilding dams. Anyways, her spring system, so this is the overflow right now. And the overflow, yes, that's probably sufficient to power a ram pump. And that's kind of maybe a project that I want to do sometime in the future. So watch out for that. She might be helping along financially with that for making it like a viable, useful system. Now, she has this spring water, and that's her primary use of water 11 months of the year. But for the 12th month of the year, she doesn't have any backup, and she actually has a well up nearby the house. But it's 600 feet deep, and she says it tastes horrible. But, you know, if she uses 1 month of the year, of course it's going to taste horrible. But that's not her fault. I'm not blaming her for that. This water does get filtered and UV treated and tested, so it's safe to drink. And it provides 100% of her water. But, you know, she's just a single person living in the house, so there's not that much water use. And this culvert here is, you can see it kind of flowing a little bit. You can see some floating out there, a bubble. And this culvert goes underneath her driveway from the road that's over there. And we'll be crossing that road later in the video. And it drains water from this valley here. But let's go to where this water is coming from. I've always wanted a system sort of like this. This is a 1,000 gallon, like, horizontal storage tank. And here's her pump in here. Let's take this off. You can kind of see down in there, just a bunch of wires. I should probably come by sometime and fix this so it's not exposed to UV. I wonder if I can take this lid off. Nope, it's not screwed down. Let's take the lid off and see what's inside here. This one screw is just a little token screw, I see. So there you see the water flowing in, flowing in from the spring, which actually comes from over there, and the actual spring heads over there. So we'll go see that in a moment here. So this is a 1,000 gallon horizontal tank, and you know, we do have to have it filtered and UV treated because it's not exactly varmint free. So I'll put the lid back on and not drop my cell phone in there. That would suck to lose my Galaxy S9 to the spring. Did I line these holes up good? Oh, they automatically line up. Probably wouldn't have as much wildlife in there if this lid was both screwed down and we had some sort of different overflow there that didn't allow salamanders to crawl back up in. Of course, the salamanders might be getting into it from over there. All right, let's go down. There's a slight ditch here, and you can kind of see it there running up to this, what was a spring bathhouse of some sort. Now, let me back up a little bit. This used to be a barn, and this was like the backside of the barn and house. And there used to be a chicken coop there, and on the other side of the road was another barn. And that's her sand mound. And on the other side of that is the ruins of another large barn, like a conventional barn you'd see in the Northeast. So this was their water supply. We'll walk down to what's in here, which is interesting but dry. You can see a little bit of junk around the perimeter here. I've never really been in here. I've not walked into it. I've just stood at this edge here. It's part of a bed. And we can see that the primary portion of it would have been up in there. It's darker. You can see it's built in some. It'd be cool to maybe refurbish whatever this was, but that'd be a lot of work, and I don't think it'd be possible even. So let's turn around and walk back up to where the actual spring water is harvested. Now, when she had the house built, she had asked a contractor, or contracted the contractor, I guess, to dig basically a trench right here, which is above where the spring house is. So I just walked above it here and lay in a collection pipe. And this collection pipe runs horizontally out. So there's a ditch here and then turns and runs down to the collection tank. So let's go open this up. I doubt we'll be able to see anything in here. I've never actually opened it myself even. Yeah, I don't see anything. And you can kind of hear water. Yep. Okay. So that's her water system. Now, as a requirement for getting a loan for this place to be built, she didn't have to get a well. And that's what the well I was talking about before, even though the spring does work. And I want to put in the ram pump powered by the overflow there. And I'd like to pump water up to way up on the hill there in those pine trees. Is enough height to get usable pressure from a 2 or 5,000 gallon water tank or something like that. And that'd probably get her through the summer without having to use the well at all. Now she'll have to turn the well on occasionally anyways, just to keep it working. You know, you don't want the pump to seize up. I don't know if they do. Modern pumps are probably very well built. And now to resume. You go along the road. I'm on the road here. That's where her old barn was. And that's where the spring is down there in her house. So across the road, she owns this property too, is this pipe. I don't know what this is, like 1 inch, maybe 1.25 inches. Clearly water pipe. And it runs up the hillside there. And don't worry about the dogs on the road. There's like never any traffic on this road. She gets maybe 5 an hour. So let's go see where this pipe goes. I'm a little bit further up from the pipe, and I know it runs right along the road because there it is. So I'm just going to keep walking this way. Now I've walked onto the neighbor's property, which she doesn't live around here, but she's friends with my aunt and is cool with us at least walking on the property. So I can show you guys these. I'm not going to go in any of the structures because they're not the sturdiest or the safest. I mean, for example, that porch is supported basically on one corner. And my dad had suspected that a bear was living in here. Let's see. No bear. Just a lot of canning jars and rough sawn beams, not rough sawn, hand hewn beams even. So that'd be cool to salvage sometime in the future, given permission. Not something I'm really anxious to do though. And then there's some other interesting trash and harmful things for the dogs to walk on. Probably shouldn't stay around here too long, just for their sake. And here we can see inside this abandoned house. And then there's this other structure over here, which I'd been in previously, but I'm not going to go in again. And we can see other stuff. There's not much in here. Rather not entice anything that might be in there. You know, if it's just a coon or something. You can see the roof was blown off by a windstorm. If that hadn't happened, it'd probably still be sound and most of the inside would be okay. But instead it's rotting out. I don't know what this was for. Maybe some sort of something involving heat. I don't know. You can see this is chiseled out too. I never noticed that before. I can imagine that this was somebody's homestead at one point. And I can't fathom the date that this was built, other than saying it seems to be quite a bit older than 50 years. Probably built in different stages. There's different types of siding between the two. And here we can see some pretty extensive damage. Your floor's fallen through. And you can see a lot of drunks have been here smashing out windows previously. Looks like they had forced air. And this wall's bowing out. Let me go around the corner so you can see that. So it's not attached to anything anymore. Probably not the safest to stand here. Luckily there's no wind or storm or rain or anything. There's a hole in the floor to the basement. Those are ungrounded plugs, if you were caring. So that dates it a little bit. All right, let's keep going. Hi, Jill. How you doing? She's an old girl. She's like 13 years old. As a golden retriever, that's a good long life. Now let's not get poked in the eye by these. You can see, gotta be careful walking around here. Back out on the road because that's the easiest to show you what's going on as far as my memory works. Yeah, okay. So you can see a pipe there, and it's flowing water, which is more than I had expected actually. And there's another pipe there. It's a little bit higher up. You can see it ends right here. That's the end of it. So I'm going to bet that these actually ran underneath the road through this culvert. Over here. And I haven't actually explored this and found any pipes. I don't know what that is. So there might be other pipes running here that run down, again, to my aunt's property. Or actually, it looks like there's some wood there. There might have been another farm structure down here they were supplying water to. And I presume that this was their property too. So this would have been some sort of pasture or field. Oh yeah, no, I didn't see it. There's an old barn foundation there. So that would have helped provide water for them. So let's go up the road a little bit and then up the hill. There's all sorts of, man, I haven't looked this closely. Usually when I'm up here, it's summer and there's all sorts of, flora and fauna covering this stuff. What's that? That looks like a sugar shaker. Ow, ow, ow. Stupid. Stop. Leave me alone. Jeez. All right, what's this? Look at that. I'm going to keep that. What's that say? Genco NYC 3027-1, I think. That's perfectly fine. Why'd they throw that out? What else is in here? Looks like we got some cable. This might have just been the neighbor dumping stuff here at the corner of the field, because I don't think the neighbor that owns this owns that. So, well, whatever. Now I have a new sugar dispenser. Nice heavy one too. It looks like it was used in a deli. It's got a nice firm lid. All right, back to the stream, since that's what you were here for. There's no signs of water lines down here because they're all, as far as I could presume, buried. We can go further up the hill. I'll cross the stream because it's drier on this side. All right, going up the hill. All right, we do see a little bit of water line here. And I can tell this was really nice in the past because all of these are fruit trees. Fruit trees. So this would have been a nice orchard to pluck fruit from. But right now they're a lot uncared for. And then more remains of a barn. Sorry, I always go too fast so you guys can never see what's going on. But there you can see that now. And water line and some sort of riser here, which would have been for a spigot of some sort. Get out of there. Dog was just stepping on more glass. Maybe for a trash tag I should come up in here and clean this up. That'll be next time. I have to go home in about an hour. So not enough time to even go back and get the trash bag at this point. So we're walking up in elevation, which is a little bit hard to tell on the camera. The camera never gives a good representation of elevation change. But I can turn around and show you the house that we were at, which is over there. So the phone's about level there. So right now, I'm going to move down a little bit. My head's at about the peak of the house. So that's how much higher up we are. And we're going to keep going. And I'll just shut the camera off. So here I'm a little bit higher up now, even. Probably double the height of the house. I'll have to check on some elevation maps. And I'll show you somewhere around here about how high up I am. So we can see the pipe right there. And it's coming up here. And it's going up into underground, right there. And then it comes up into, what's this? Now, if you remember my last video, I was like, what's this thing in the woods? Well, actually, I knew what this one is before I came up here. but this is a cistern. So this would presumably be full of water. Might actually be full of, like, let's get this glass out of here. Actually, no, I can hear it. Water's definitely dribbling into there. Let's see if we can get the camera close and hear it. And we're back. Sorry, my phone ran out of storage and I had to delete some stuff. So let's walk a little bit further up into here and see what we can find. All right, clearly we have a lot of concrete blocks. Actually, not concrete. This is all stone. And it looks like water's coming in multiple different places. They probably came up here with a big piece of machinery and kept digging until they found where the water is coming from, and at this point the water just started to diverge. Because I see water coming in this pipe here. And then there's also water coming in over here from up in there. So this is sort of a collection basin. Now what they would have done is, you can see other stones here, they would have had a spring house over this, and that would have prevented any sort of wildlife, flora or fauna from getting in here and contaminating the water supply as best as they could. Whoop, let's not slip and die. All right, and then they would have had the water flowing into the catchment tank there. And again, thorns. I hate thorns. All right, a little bit more hints here. This would have been the overflow. So this actually would have been a pool of water, and it would have overflowed probably through this pipe. And then there probably would have been some other method of the water getting into this cistern. I don't know exactly. It's all missing. Now, we can evaluate the hydroelectric potential from this based on my many times of doing this sort of thing. It's, what is it, April? Late April. This is end of winter. So it's like maybe average flow, I'd say, for this area. And that's maybe 5 gallons a minute. That'd probably be a safe guess. Maybe 10 gallons a minute. And then that's dropping, sorry fingers, if we estimate all the way to the bottom of the hill, I don't know how many feet that is, but I'll have to look it up on topographical again, and I'll put the information here with, I guess, how much potential power there is here out of the spring if my aunt were to ask permission to tap the resource that is the spring. She just expressed a real interest in doing that. So that's kind of part of the impetus to do this video. Say hi, Shamrock. Hi, Shamrock. Oh, he gave us a wink. Thumbs up for the wink. His birthday is March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, hence the name Shamrock. And then this is Gigi for good girl. No, I always thought good girl should have been Gogi or something, but that's apparently not the case. Not my doing. And that up there is Lily. Okay, so let's get to a better spot to do this outro and not. So, thanks for watching. I know this was kind of a longer video than you might have wanted, but I hope it was interesting enough for you to stay around. Hence you're watching this. And I got a free sugar dispenser. So I'll see you around. I guess a little addendum here. I try to do these in order and not try to do production magic. But the spring up there would have fed through that pipe, a barn over there. And this spring down here would have done, who knows what else for this farm. So clearly there's two different geological stratas where the springs are exiting from. So this lower one's probably much older, much cleaner spring. Probably, can't guarantee that.